motto all year long in Calgary. Now, a season full of tremendous highs.
Oh, baby, what a comeback.
And devastating lows.
And unfortunately, it's not good news. He will be undergoing surgery.
Boils down to one final week that will tell the tale. 3 games with their playoff destiny in their hands. Time to earn it once again. The Calgary Flames set to embark on the final 3 games of the regular season, but boy, did they want more. The Flames take aim at the season sweep of the Arizona Coyotes tonight. They will be led by Jonas Hiller as he tries to collect them 2 pivotal points in the Western Conference, which likely won't be solved until the very bitter end. While the Flames have owned Arizona this season, the Desert Dogs, well, they proved that they still have bite. Yes, Shane Doan and company coming off a win over San Jose Saturday night, which crushed the Sharks' playoff hopes, and the Yotes would like nothing more than to play spoiler yet again. We welcome you into our Hockey Central studios for TELUS Flames Hockey right here on Rogers Sportsnet. Flames and Coyotes, Leah Hextall alongside Billy Jaffe and Doug McLean. And 2 teams the Flames are watching in the standings, and tonight would be the Jets and Kings, and the Jets taking on the Blues. Blake Wheeler breaks in alone, but he can't beat Jake Allen.
Jake Allen playing some good hockey as of late. Just gets the end of his glove on that.
And then late in the frame, Alex Pietrangelo point shot deflects to Jaden Schwartz. He's robbed by Andre Pavlik. Huge stick save. Pavlik coming off a shutout of the Minnesota Wild. So this is how the Western Conference looks heading into Game 80 for the Calgary Flames tonight. They sit 3rd in the Pacific, tied in points with the LA Kings at 93, but they do own the tiebreak. Meanwhile, the Jets are in that final wild card spot. They did themselves a huge favor by taking down Minnesota. They now have a 94 points. All right, well, we head to the Scotiabank Saddledome where we find our Roger Millions. And Raj, prior to the season at training camp, Bob Hartley said his club wanted these final games to mean something. Well, I think mission accomplished, my friend.
No doubt about it. It means everything, and it starts tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. And for Jonas Hiller, he's the man. You mentioned his moments ago, and his record lately actually verifies the fact he should be the man. 2.01 goals against average, a .940 save percentage. He'll carry the ball. Brad Thiessen is his backup, but Jonas Hiller will be the man in net. He'll get some help, particularly on the back end from guys like this guy. Dennis Weidman, a career season, scored his 15th of the season against the Edmonton Oilers Saturday. That's a career best. 52 points. That is also a career best. He's picked up the offensive slack on the back end with Mark Giordano's injury. And finally, they will beat a Coyote team that has a chance to really ruin the Flames season, but they've had trouble here. The Flames are 4-0 against the Coyotes this season, and going back to March of 2012, 7-0 against Arizona. They would like to make it 8 consecutive wins here tonight, Leah.
That they would, Raj. Now, Doug, you've been in this position as a coach, as a general manager. These games mean so much. So what does Calgary have to do not to look ahead to LA and Winnipeg and focus in on Arizona tonight?
Well, you know, they have to look at what's got them here, and that's amazing goaltending, an underrated blue line that's played exceptionally well, great secondary scoring we talked about, but it always comes back to their big line. What hockey person would have ever said this line, Gaudreau, who most people thought would be lucky to be on the 3rd line, Hudler, who's a good, solid NHL player, and a youngster in a 20-year-old Monahan. 81 goals. Now, I'm telling you, there's not a scout in the world would have predicted that. They're that good.
This team needs to get off to a good start. I know that's not their specialty, but they need to get off to a good start in this game. Do not give Arizona anything to grasp onto and hope.
Yeah, you don't want to look past the Arizona Coyotes. They're looking to do what they did to San Jose on a Saturday night. Arizona Coyotes taking on the Calgary Flames. We head to Scotiabank Saddledome next.
TELUS Flames Hockey. Brought to you by TELUS. The future is friendly.
Jets and Blues, Winnipeg playing in back-to-back. We picked this one up in the second period. No score. That is until this shot will get through, and Chris Thorburn in front of the net bats it in backhand past Jake Allen.
That fourth line again. They were so good last night. They give them such great depth. They're big, they're strong, and they can skate.
And St. Louis goaltending. Still questionable.
Still questionable. You got it. Jets up 1-0, and they're 1 point up on the Flames and Kings. All right, so this is what Calgary will be bolstering tonight against the Arizona Coyotes, and we're going to see Jonas Hiller get the start, and then Billy, that kid line sticking together.
As they should, and just skate. That's what Coach Hartley's going to tell them. Continue that skate, that pace.
Yeah, coming off a 5-point night against the Edmonton Oilers. Then we take a look at the Arizona Coyotes. It has been a struggle. Only 4 wins in their last 25. And this might be why.
Doug, GM Doug.
I'm telling you, you're challenged to figure out some of these guys, but the guy that they have to shut down is Ekman Larsson, the Calgary Flames. They gotta watch him.
23 goals on the season. He leads all National Hockey League defensemen with that.
No.
No?
No. I hardly know. I didn't even know some of them were in the league.
I really had to study up when I was doing this game for Arizona against Calgary. All right. Well, the Flames are looking for the season sweep, and they only have 3 games left in the regular season. They're sitting 3rd in the Pacific. We head to the Dome when we return.
Thank you, George Cannon and Willie Tucson. Welcome back.
All right, here we are at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Rick Ball with Kelly Rudy and Roger Millions. The Flames into the home stretch. Final 3 games of the regular season start tonight against the Arizona Coyotes as we check our starting goaltenders. As always, a presentation of Intact Insurance Company, proud to partner with the Calgary Flames. And it's Jonas Hiller, the man for the Flames for the foreseeable future. Kari Ramo listed as day-to-day, but he didn't look very good when he was taken off the ice in Edmonton on Saturday. Hiller has not beaten any team more than the Arizona Coyotes. 21 wins for Jonas Hiller against the Coyotes in his career. Mike Smith at the other end. Tough season for the Kingston, Ontario native, looking for his 15th win of the season. You heard Leah mention Oliver Ekman Larsson, one of the few bright spots for the Arizona Coyotes in a very tough year with the 2nd worst record in the NHL. Goal total matches his jersey number 23, which leads all defensemen as we're underway in Calgary. Flames are 4-0 against Arizona this year, and they go to work in the offensive zone off the opening faceoff. Boma and Jones on the forecheck. Jones steps into Chipchura. Jones gets the puck free. Good work by David Jones. Up the boards, backhands it down low for Stajan. Missed the pass. Stone took a bump from Stajan, who wins the battle. Matt Stajan up front to Jones. He couldn't pull the trigger. Circles the net. David Jones back the other way. Smith down. Boma can't take the pass. Puck goes back behind the net. Bounced off the back of the goal. Chipchura takes down Boma. And a good first shift for Calgary draws an Arizona penalty.
That was a spectacular first shift by David Jones, moving his feet, strong on the puck, winning puck battles, and here's one of them right here on Chipchura. Comes in, strips him of the puck, and continued to move his feet, and created all sorts of opportunities for the Flames right here. And then, of course, taking the pucks to the net, and there is the tripping penalty. And so the Flames on the power play early in this game. Ekman Larsson with 2 minutes for tripping.
He was the one who took down Boma, so the Flames go to work. Weidman at the line, works it across. Dennis Weidman over to Gaudreau. Gaudreau with a shot at the traffic. Smith save. Rebound put just wide. Monahan onto the puck in the corner. Monahan, Gaudreau, Hoodler up front. Weidman mans 1 point, Russell the other. He has the puck on the right side. Back to Weidman, over to Gaudreau. Gaudreau turns. Johnny Gaudreau back to Weidman with a bit of room. Winds up, doesn't shoot. Now he does. Deflected on goal. Saved by Smith. Rebound loose. Gaudreau onto it. Here's Russell on foot. Deflected wide. Off the stick. Goes wide of the goal. Puck controlled by Dahlbeck, and he'll play it up the boards and all the way down the ice.
Flames look sharp early. I know we're only just a minute into it, but this has been a really good start for them.
Talk about that tough first game back off a road trip. The Flames this year are 4-1-1 though in first games back off road trips of 3 or more. So they've bucked that trend as Weidman tried to keep it onside but couldn't. Russell goes back to the puck midway through this Calgary power play. Backlund to it in the corner. Drops it off behind the net for Chris Russell. Now Backlund to center ice. Works it over the line. Second unit out on the power play. Joe Colborne, who scored in Edmonton on Saturday, is cut off by Stone. Puck comes back to Weidman. Still out there with a shot off the goalpost. Tipped by Colborne and off the iron. Here's Brody. Plays it across to Backlund. Backlund shoots. Smith save. And he's able to freeze the puck for a whistle.
We've talked often this season about the strengths of Dennis Weidman. And one of the things we usually talk about, how he gets pucks through from the point. 2 examples on this power play. Lots of traffic, still able to get that puck through. Chaos in front of the net. Flames get a couple of chances from then, and then Russell gets a good chance right here, just fires it wide. one more Dennis Weidman chance. Traffic in front with Colburn. And that is a real good-looking power play to start with.
Final 20 seconds of the Ekman-Larsson penalty, and here's Jiri Hudler down the wing, works the puck into the zone, drops it off. Oh, and then Gaudreau just got high stick by Moss. Nobody saw it. And Johnny Gaudreau drops a stick and then turns back to the official asking where's the penalty. Gaudreau back to the bench, hand on his face as the Flames dump the puck in. And it's an icing call on Calgary as the penalty comes to an end. But let's take a look at what happened to Gaudreau, Kelly.
Well, and he's cut. This happened a couple times recently with Johnny Gaudreau. Errant sticks getting up on the youngster. And here's Moss right here on the follow-through.
Yeah. And it was a follow-through.
That's right.
Which is not a penalty, as bad as that high stick was.
And it hurts, but unfortunately that is the way that the game is called.
3 shots on the power play for Calgary. Back to even strength as the puck's played into the zone. Sean Moore back to it. Jones on his tail. Moore gets it ahead. Crombeen can't take the pass, and Russell regroups near his own line. Weidman ahead to Boma. Slides it in, not deep, taken away at the line by Gagne. Now the Flames back in offside. Check our keys to the game, brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Kelly.
And for the Flames, pressure Coyotes defense. We've seen many examples of that already. Coyotes play with passion, even though you have to try and find a way to manufacture enthusiasm. That's what you have to do when you're having a poor season.
Marcus Granlund out now. 2 goals in Edmonton on Saturday. Wins the faceoff. Derek Englund fires the puck in as he's bumped by Reeder. Mike Smith out of the goal. Plays the puck to the corner. Arcobello drops it off, but he put it out of the reach of the defenseman Dahlbeck, and Ferland works hard down low to try and steal the puck. Granlund comes in to help out. Back for Ferland, just missed him. He'll chase it in the corner. Michael Ferland, nice pass to Brody. Lots of room. Brody shoots. Smith glove save as traffic converges. Mike Smith hangs on.
This period brought to you by Toyota Red Tag Days. Hurry into your local Toyota dealer for great offers on many 2015 models.
Great forecheck and pressure by the Flames on the young Coyotes defense, creating all sorts of problems. Ferland gets the puck back to Brody. Excellent save there from Smith through traffic, but this Calgary Flames team, they are skating well tonight.
Good start for Calgary, still scoreless though. Stone lifts the puck out of the Arizona zone. It bounces to the line, chipped in by Time again. He'll get it on the boards with a shot. That goes wide. Puck comes to Backlund. He'll chop it off the boards. Not out. Kept onside by Stone. Pocket picked by Mason Raymond. And Englund feeds it ahead. Here goes Joe Colborne with room down the wing. Backlund with him. Colborne trying to cut out front. Forced behind the net. Lost the puck. Vitale chips it up the boards. Shot by Schlemko off the outside of the goal. Joe Vitale bumped by Colborne down low. Backlund comes in to help. He's watched by Stone. Ekman-Larsson gets the puck to Crombeen. That pass bounces to McGinn. Knocked it down. Vitale gets control. And Ekman-Larsson settles things down just past the 4-minute mark. First period of play, both teams make changes. Stone out of his own zone. Gagne got it in, but not deep. Cleared right back out. Here's Jiri Hudler down the wing with a shot that he put wide. Smith got a piece of that anyway. Steered the puck to the end boards. Erat to it. Quickly ahead to Sam Gagne. Out of his own zone. Gagne tries to chip it in, broken up by Weidman. Jiri Hudler. Sean Monahan. Pass blocked by Moss. Puck goes to the corner. Russell will pinch on the near side. Erat there first. Missed Gagne with a pass. This goes all the way down the ice. Not enough for icing, though, as Sean Monahan chases it down in the corner. Checked by Sam Gagne out front to Doan. Pass in his skates. Boma plays it to the line. Not out. Shot by Dahlbeck. Stopped by Hiller. Puck played to the boards. Reeder onto it for Arizona. Shane Doan in the corner now. Back to Reeder with a shot. Blocked by Boma. Felt that one as the Flames get control. Weidman finds David Jones at center ice. Late in the shift, wires the puck around. Mark Arcobello onto it. 17 goals this season for Arcobello. He's played on 4 different teams this year in the NHL.
That's not a fun year. 17 goals is a fun year, but not 4 teams.
One of 3 players in NHL history have played on 4 different NHL teams in a single season. Shane Doan. Long pass to Reeder. Works it down the wing with a shot. Hiller save. Rebound loose. Englund chops the puck to the corner. And Stajan tried to clear. Can't get it out. Shot from the point. Never got through. Onto the puck on the near side. Battling in the corner is Schwartz. Knocked down along the boards by Englund. Puck comes to Ferland. Can't get it past Murphy. Arcabello with a bouncing puck trying to shot. Blocked out front by Brody. And now Derek Englund will back. Ooh, big hit at the line by Ferland as he couldn't get it past Murphy. Here's Schwartz in deep, threw it out from the traffic, and the puck comes free to Derek Englund. Backlund, cross-ice pass, racing onto it is Juris. Juris right in, stopped by Mike Smith. Juris got into the backhand and Smith shut him down. And now the Flames go offside at the line as the whistle blows. Just past the 6-minute mark of the first period. Still scoreless in Calgary. Josh Juris trying to change that with a nice move off the right wing, but Mike Smith with the save.
Josh Juris flying tonight like he was Saturday in Edmonton. Gets a feed from Backlund right here. Easily gets around John Moore, the defenseman. Mike Smith closes the 5-hole in this. And then prior to that, Lance Boma, of course, with the shot block on the Tobias Reeder. Chance, that's a 1,498 shots blocked this season so far by the Flames, second in the NHL. Buffalo leads the league in that, Rick.
Chris Russell leads the league in that category individually with a National Hockey League single-season record in block shots. Plays the puck in, taken away by Campbell, and then given away. Here's a pass out front. Gaudreau with a shot. Pad saved by Smith. Got the right leg out. Shane Doan brings the puck to center ice. Fires that on goal, trying to fool Hiller as it looked like he was going to wire it around, but put it on net, and Hiller will cover up for a whistle with 13.5 minutes to go in the first period.
And good to see Johnny Gaudreau back on the ice after taking that errant high stick and just tracking down pucks right there. There's a giveaway by Campbell. Gaudreau was right to the high slot, that soft area. Mike Smith very deep in his net. I understand that's the way he wants to play, but this morning in the morning skate, I was a little bit surprised how deep he is. And warm up and now. I know it's all situational, but I'd like to see another foot further out.
Marty Erat with the puck, gets it to Sam Gagner. There's Moss, the former Flame, back to Gagner, down low for Erat. Gagner goes out front, Moss tries a shot, that goes off Boma, stick wide. Onto the puck, Ekman Larson from a sharp angle. Chop that off of Hiller. Puck winds up in the corner. Erat to it. Up the boards, back to the line for Ekman Larson. Gagner, Erat. Stone has to pick it up off the boards. Moss behind the net. Erat. Puck bounces to Moss into the corner for Gagner. Moss goes out front. There's the pass. Stick tied up on a good play by Derek Englund, and out comes David Jones to center ice. Got the puck in. Got her on a check. Boma's out front. Jones right in with a shot. Smith save. Boma cross-check penalty coming up. Schlemko works it across. Hiller goes to the bench for the extra skater. Backlund right in with a shot. Pad saved by Smith. And the puck's touched by the Coyotes, and the Flames about to get their second power play.
And I think it's going to be Michael Stone right here. Jones gets around defenseman and takes a puck hard to the net. There's the play right there. I think it might be Martin Erat, in fact. And it is Erat. Takes Jones hard into the net, and that's 2 minutes for interference. There's no question about that.
Flames 0 for 1. They had 3 shots on their first opportunity. Calgary's power play top 10 in the league. Arizona's penalty kill is the 4th worst, and they've given up 8 goals the last 8 games on the PK, but win the face-off here and clear the zone down the ice. Miller gives the puck away. Vitale short-handed, put it off the outside of the post. That was close. Johnny Gaudreau gets the puck. Monahan, Budler, Monahan, Weidman. Gaudreau, nice move. Gaudreau cuts wide, goes behind the net, out front of the traffic. Budler puts the puck on goal softly, and Smith's able to cover up in the crease. And hang on with 1:29 left in the power play.
Scoring chances at both ends, starting with a poor giveaway by Jonas Hiller. Lots of time to make a play. Waits too long. Joe Vitale quickly on the puck. And then the Flames continue to attack the net. Johnny Gaudreau right here going behind, finding Yuri Hudler. But I just like the fact that the Flames not letting the Coyotes off the hook. Every opportunity they're in the Coyote zone, taking pucks to the net.
Face-off win for Monahan. Russell gives the puck to Gaudreau. Monahan, Russell, Weidman, one-timer. Smith makes the save and no rebound.
Don't forget to play Safeway's $1 Million Score and Win if any Flames player scores 5 times in our game. And Dale Pusher of Lethbridge, Alberta could win $1 million. Shop at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
Top unit stays out there. Minute 19 left in the Erad penalty. Monahan facing off against Chipchura.
Rick, Flames already have 10 shots, and we consider 8 of them dangerous.
Mike Smith's been sharp. A little slow to get up after that last shot. Took some time to catch his breath as the Coyotes play it down the ice. Johnny Gaudreau on the right wing. Here comes Weidman. Back to Monahan with a shot. Blocker save. Rebound played off the boards. Russell able to keep it alive. Another good chance. Weidman in the circle. Works the puck to the corner. Gets the return pass behind the net to Hoodler. Back to Weidman. Chris Russell at the line. Russell across to Gaudreau. Russell. Weidman, one-timer block. Gaudreau scores! '23rd of the year for the rookie, and it's 1-0 Calgary on the power play.
Just continual pressure by the Flames, taking pucks to the net and not letting the Coyotes off the hook whatsoever. It's been a really dangerous Flames team. You could tell right from the beginning of the game, working the puck around, getting it back to Weidman right there. Once again, puck through, blocked shot on this play though, right there by Stone, and it goes directly to Johnny Gaudreau, and the Flames have a 1-0 lead. Excellent. Oh wow, what hands by Johnny Gaudreau. How quickly he's able to get that, track that puck down and release that shot and bury it past Mike Smith.
Came into the game tied with Philip Forsberg for rookie points. And Gaudreau scored in this one. 4 shots on that power play. 7 shots for Calgary and 2 power plays here in the first period. Puck comes back to the line. Moore with a shot from the point. That goes wide, almost bounced back out front. Moss onto it. Blew a tire. Englund gets control. Raymond trying to get there. Murphy played it off the board, but gives it away. Colborne brings it out. His pass goes off Moss down the ice. Mike Smith over to cut it off. Likes to play the puck off the boards and out. Erad, nice pass to Gagne. He's by himself though. Plays it deep. Hiller leads the puck to TJ Brody. Shots are 12-4 Calgary. Doug McLean and Billy Jaffe in the studio were saying Flames need a good start. Well, I think you call this a good start.
Mission accomplished.
Weidman at center ice. Gulps that one in. Mike Smith plays the puck to the corner for Ekman Larson. There's Toby Reeder. Flips it to an open away. Bounces off the back of Granlund right to Arcabello, who gets a shot away, and Hiller makes the save and hangs on.
Cheering for any team that can give him a big payday. This is the Sports Select Legends free agent, a real ruthless such and such.
Get your game on with Tools.
Terrific passing by the Flames on the goal. Russell, Weidman, Stone the block, and just unbelievable hands from Johnny Gaudreau. That came to him pretty quickly. His stick wasn't even on the ice, and he was able to adjust. What a mind for the game.
Shot off the draw, turned aside by Hiller. Vitale onto the puck in the corner. Gets it behind the net. Crombeen chases to the other side. Brody on him. Ties him up along the boards. That allows David Jones to clear. Lance Poma had it hop over his stick, but here comes Stajan. Stajan slap shot, glove save Smith, who hangs on. 9:42 to go. First period of play. The Flames lead 1-0. Johnny Gaudreau with the goal in Calgary. At the start of the year, many wondered where the goals would come from, including the general manager, Brad Treliving. And when that's the question, the answer is by committee and from unexpected sources.
What, are you telling me you didn't expect all these guys?
I knew this is exactly what was going. I knew they'd be one of the top scoring teams in the league this year.
Crazy.
Is my nose growing?
Isn't that exactly? Your pants are on fire too, but well done by the Calgary Flames. So many guys have had career years, and you know the thing is, Rick, and I think you would agree, watching this team the entire year, I don't think these will be career best for a lot of these guys. They've shown so much promise and growth that I expect that in the upcoming years, we'll see some of these same players far exceed some of these numbers that they produced this season. That's why it's so exciting here with the Flames, and they continue to get contributions from everybody, and even newer guys coming in, like Corey Potter's played well now. This is his second consecutive game in. He's made a couple of nice safe plays here. David Schlemko coming over on waivers from Dallas. He's contributed nicely.
Yep. A guy like Josh Juris, I mean, nobody thought he'd even make the team, let alone produce like he has. We didn't know what to expect out of Johnny Gaudreau in his rookie season.
Story is old now, but with Juris, they penciled him in for one preseason game.
And he just kept forcing him to let him play. And what a year for him, and he's out there now. Time the wraparound, stop by Smith. Herlin chops the puck free. This line's so good in Edmonton on Saturday, continues to work hard tonight. Puck goes off Schlemko back to the Calgary zone. There's Corey Potter. Dumped in by Granlund. Juris gives chase. Here's Granlund with a shot. That goes off Vitale. Over the glass, not a play. Well, we've got a winner. Thanks to Calgary's first goal in our score and win contest on behalf of Safeway and Safeway. Cinnamon Meldrum of Lethbridge won a Bulletin Marine Star watch. Thanks to Calgary's first goal tonight. Congratulations, Cinnamon.
Josh Juris once again using that speed really well today, and comes around from the back of the net, tries to wrap around. Mike Smith read that nicely though.
Flames win the draw. Chris Russell down the boards, trying to feather a pass out front, taken away by Gagne. And Erad able to feed it out to center ice. Dumped in by Dahlbeck. Puck comes to Sam Gagne on the boards. Plays it behind the net for Erad. Moss is out front. There's Gagne. Erad tries a shot off the boards. That deflects through the slot. Back to Campbell. And backhanded behind the net. As Weidman's taken down by Gagne. Weidman's hurt him behind the play. Puck comes outside the zone. Collision behind the net. And it looked like they may have locked legs accidentally as Gagne goes into Pat Weidman with the stick. But this is what Flames fans do not want to see, with the blue line already depleted by injuries.
And it was a collision behind the Flames net. I think it was accidental more than anything. You could see by the concern of Gagne after the collision. And Sam Gagne went over immediately after the collision to find out Dennis Weidman was okay, and you don't see that often, so that would suggest to me that it's more incidental contact.
Weidman's back on his feet and making his way to the bench under his own power. It looked, they were both coming from opposite sides of the net.
And here it is where Gagne did go over with the concern, finding out if in fact Dennis Weidman is okay. How often do you see that, Rick? Not very often, so that would tell me that he, of course, was not going for the big hit.
Connor Murphy off the draw, puts the puck into the Calgary zone. Derek Englund to it for Brody. Colma clears. Off a stick, racing after it is David Jones. This line's been good early in this game. But Reeder works it back the other way for the Coyotes. There's Shane Doan, nice pass, and a good play by Jones to lift the stick of Moore as the puck bounces wide of the goal. Back out front, David Jones onto it. North Vancouver native with a long pass to Lance Boma. Works it off the wing. Brody with him. Boma fanning the shot as he was tied up by Murphy. Stage and feeds it down low. Connor Murphy takes it away. Puts it behind the net to John Moore. 12 minutes gone first period. And Johnny Gaudreau with the only goal in this game. Flames out shooting Arizona 14-6. Murphy's pass. Chipchura backhands it in. Hiller will stop that for Russell. There's Weidman. Back on the ice. Colborne works it in now. Colborne with room and a shot. That goes off the stick of Smith. Maybe the shaft of the stick and out of play.
So good to see Dennis Weidman healthy and back on the ice. Last thing the Calgary Flames need, another injury to a defenseman. You go back to Schmid getting hit by Desprez, and then Mark Giordano, of course, everybody remembers that. And then most recently, Rafa Diaz recently on this road trip in St. Louis. So three good defensemen for the Flames out of the lineup. So they've done a nice job hanging in there with some replacement type players.
Speaking of replacements, Campbell brings Mike Smith the new stick.
Slowly, I might add.
Yeah, give the troops a little time to catch their breath. 7:39 to go in the first period. Flames have controlled this game, but lead by 1. Face-off win for Calgary. Raymond turns with a shot that's blocked. Michael Stone gets it out to center ice. That pass broken up, and the Flames try and work it right back in. Joe Colborne tied up. Raymond onto the puck. Back to the line is Schlemko. Schlemko shot deflected on goal, and Smith saw it last second blocker save. Backlund. Colborne. Schlemko now with a shot again. Glove save. Smith scoops it off the ice and hangs on.
Once again, the Flames doing a really nice job of funneling all the pucks to the front of the net. David Schlemko gets an opportunity and gets it past the traffic. There's the deflection in front, and that really gave Mike Smith a lot of problems. Michael Backlund in the high slot and gets a piece of it right there. Let's take a look. You see there's a great example of how it changed direction by about 2 feet. And that was an example of how that's beneficial for Mike Smith to be deep, but other times I question it.
Off the drop, puck blasted down the ice, and it's an icing call on the Coyotes as Russell goes back.
Mike Smith already has faced 16 shots. Would it be safe to say 12 or 13 of those, Rick, have been fairly dangerous?
It'd be safe to say he's been pretty sharp early in this game too, Kelly.
Still 7:03 left, and he's faced 16 shots.
Yeah.
Wow.
And 2 power plays, 7 shots on those 2 power plays. One of them wound up in the back of the net. He had no chance on that one. McGinn gets the puck out the center ice. Here goes Crombeen down the wing with a shot off the stick of Russell over the glass. And out of play.
Well, it's been tough to be the #1 goaltender for the Coyotes this season, especially the last 9 road games. Numbers aren't very attractive, but that's what happens when you're playing on a team that's really struggling like the Coyotes have been this season. But hey, they're in a good position for the draft lottery, aren't they?
Sitting 29th overall, absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, and listen, they're playing hard, but they got rid of a lot of their best players at the trade deadline.
I would agree with that, but they're playing hard.
It's obviously a complete rebuild with the Coyotes. Derek Englund works the puck down the wing. Englund skating well with a shot on Smith, who makes the save. Puck comes to Erat. He's checked. Stajan gets it to Bomo with a quick shot on goal. Turned aside by Smith. Matt Stajan bumping Ekman Larson. I mentioned earlier one of the few bright spots this year. And even with that, it's still a -19. Look at the plus minuses on the Arizona roster. It's a horror show.
Sure is. That doesn't tell you if they're good players or not, though.
No, just more of a team number.
Yeah.
Long pass to Gagne. TJ Brody gets control. Marcus Granlund. Ferland with him on the rush. Ferland with a shot. Put that well wide. On a sharp angle, and Shane Doan with room to feed it out to center ice to Reeder. Arcabello into the zone. He's checked by Granlund. And Russell clears. Ferland couldn't take the pass. Murphy took it away and dumps it in. Russell around. Out to Joe Colborne at center ice. This pass to Michael Ferland. Leaves the puck for Colborne. Cuts over the line. Colborne skating well. Colborne behind the net. Works the puck to the corner. Colborne down low for Backlund. Backlund in tight quarters. Shot by Arcabello. Maintains control though. Feeds it back to Weidman. Over to Russell with a screen and a shot deflected off a leg by Colborne, who gets the puck down low again for Backlund. Raymond with a one-timer, fanned on it off the heel of a stick. Arcabello plays it across, and Reeder brings the puck out to center ice. Flipped it in, was on the wrong side of the red line. That's an icing call on Arizona with 5:02 left in the period.
Let's talk about that draft lottery and the percentages now with the Coyotes, considering they're in 29th place. Of course, the Sabres have the highest percentage of the first overall pick, Coyotes second, and Oilers, Maple Leafs trailing after that. But boy, you're going to get a pretty good player. Everybody talks about not only McDavid and Eichel, but other players, that this is a very good draft.
There's a chance there for Yuri Hudler off the draw that he fires wide. Arcabello banks the puck off the boards and out. That facilitates a change for the Coyotes as Sean Monahan wheels out of his own zone. Pass to Gaudreau, tipped it in, not deep. Following up is Potter, who wires that around the glass. Vitale kicks it off the boards. Campbell behind his own net, watched by Gaudreau, who steals. Nice job by Gaudreau to get it out, fought off a foot. It went through the crease. Picked up by Crombeen. And Joe Vitale at center ice. McGinn will tip it in. Watched by Potter, bumps him off the puck on a good check in the corner. Gaudreau got it ahead. Jones finds Monahan. Working on Campbell. Monahan swings wide and then plays the puck around the boards. Flames mid-shift change. Comes back to Derek Engelland with a slap shot. And that goes off the leg of Joe Vitale. And out of play. 4:07 to go in the first period. Calgary 1. Coyotes no score. Telus Flames Hockey on Sportsnet.
Telus and the Calgary Flames present the We Heart Flames contest. Show your love and post a picture of your Flames spirit to Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag We Heart Flames during the telecast for a chance to win big.
Thank you, Roger. 4:07 left first period. Good first period for Calgary, out shooting Arizona 18-6. Only leading 1-0 though on Johnny Gaudreau's 23rd of the year. Face-off win for Sam Gagner in his own zone, but almost given away at the side of the goal. Stone gets it back. And the former Calgary hitman who put up some impressive numbers from the blue line his last year of junior hockey with him. And gets the puck ahead. They go offside at the Calgary blue line. And the Flames have controlled this season series, Kelly.
Yeah, it's not been a good year for the Coyotes in playing a lot of the teams, in particular the Flames. To see the numbers tell the entire story right there. It's been all Flames, and that has continued into this first period where they've been the dominant team by far.
And Roger mentioned off the top, in addition to being 4-0 this year against Arizona, Flames have won 7 straight over the Coyotes in this building, too. So they have trouble in Calgary as Johnny Gaudreau gets the puck to Hoover. Back to Gaudreau. Put that puck to the crease. Chopped off a body by Monahan. Now Hoover tried to throw it back out front, but it's blocked, and out comes Moss to center ice. David Moss works the puck in, but one too many moves. Gagner early over the line, offside again on Arizona.
Bob Hartley this morning was talking about his team, and he is very to the point, talking about it's all about us. It's the way that we prepare, and they have to make sure they execute. So once again, I think they followed suit on all those points. They have been a very focused team, and they've obviously prepared properly.
Connor Murphy fires that in too high into the netting. 3:34 to go.
And Dave Tippett was asked about the challenge of motivating his players, and he basically said, which we would all assume to be accurate, that it's up to them to motivate themselves because they're playing for jobs for next year. He is quite strong in that opinion.
His worst year as a head coach in terms of wins, but he has the 3rd most wins in the NHL amongst active coaches since 02-03. Only Mike Babcock and Joel Quenneville have more in that time.
That's a pretty good record.
Yeah, it's not bad company. But it's been a tough year for everybody in Arizona. Here's Reeder off the wing with a backhand shot, and that's a stop by Hiller, able to squeeze the puck and hang on.
Tobias Reeder, Rick, you and I were lucky. Hockeyville in Sylvan Lake, we saw him for the first time live, and this is what we noticed that day, that exceptional speed, good hockey sense. And he gets around Brody right there, and Hiller in perfect position. See, Jonas Hiller likes playing the Coyotes. Those are pretty spectacular numbers, too. Last regulation loss to the Coyotes in November of 2011.
Arizona got his rights from Edmonton. He's turned into a good player, 13 goals in his rookie season. And Stone at the line, including 2 in one penalty kill against the Oilers earlier this year.
That's right.
Shorthanded. David Jones, who's skating well tonight, onto a loose puck out front for Boma. Tipped right on goal off the stick of Ekman Larsson, and Smith is sharp and able to snag that and hang on.
This line's really been flying so far, and David Jones, it's noticeable the step that he has right here. Tries to throw it out front to Boma. Flames going for their 13th good chance right here. Ekman Larsson, though, is able to deflect that chance away from Boma. Ekman Larsson, what a second half to the season. He wasn't great. Came a little bit heavier than they were hoping. Training camp, he thought it was going to be muscle, but it's more added weight and exceptional strength.
He's leaned out and played as many expect he will most seasons. Such a great offensive defenseman, 23 goals, which leads all NHLG men in that category, and 2 in their win against San Jose last year. On pass tipped in. TJ Brody back to it. Around the boards and out a little too hard. But it's going to go far enough for icing. Yeah, it is. As they blow it down with 2:05 to go in the first.
I'd say the Flames have done a really nice job of not only coming out strong, but getting the lead and continue to play the game that they wanted. They wanted to skate well early, and they've done just that. Now the challenge will be to finish off this period properly, talk about what you want to do in the second, and just follow through shift after shift.
Face-off win in the offensive zone for Arizona, but they give it away. Here goes Sean Monahan down the wing, trying to get around Moore. Monahan still with the puck. Gaudreau in the corner. Plays it off the boards, back to the point. Russell had moved over. Puck comes outside. Monahan brings it back in. Woodler in front of the goal. Pass to Weidman. Weidman right in. Gets hooked. No call. Yeah, there is. Pardon me. Penalty coming up. The Flames get control of the puck. Hiller heads to the bench. Third power play coming up for Calgary unless they score. Pass for Gaudreau is tipped, but Gaudreau, well, he got the puck, but Murphy touched it, so the whistle blows, and with 1:27 to go in the first period, Flames go back on the man advantage.
And it's Tobias Reeder that takes a penalty here. Weidman jumps into the play. Reeder gets a stick in the hands, and in today's NHL, that is a penalty.
That's a penalty in yesterday's NHL,
well,
too.
Fair enough, yes.
When you're 4 feet behind the guy.
Maybe not in the
dead puck era?
Yes.
Yeah, you might be right.
You could do a lot more than that. You could pretty much lasso a guy, Calgary Stampede style, and that was still okay.
Fair comment. Flames 1 for 2 on the power play. 7 shots. Those 2 chances. Chris Russell to Weidman. Monahan taken away by Vitale, who clears the center. Knocked down by Russell. Here's Gaudreau in traffic. Final minute of play in the period. Gaudreau has to go back into his own zone. Flames having trouble with the PK of Arizona. Don't try to feather a pass out front. That deflects. Campbell onto it. Not as much urgency on this power play for Calgary, Kelly.
No. Take my foot off the gas a little bit here.
30 seconds left in the period. Russell goes back. Second unit coming off of the Flames. Weidman down the wing. Backlund. Colborne. Russell. Now they got it set up. Joe Colborne. Back to Russell. Russell shoots. That never got through. Hit a foot. Played to the boards. And fired down the ice by Moss. And that'll do it for the period. As time winds down, and a very good first period comes to an end for the Calgary Flames.
This period brought to you by Toyota Red Tag Days. Hurry into your local Toyota dealer for great offers on many 2015 models.
33 seconds on this power play will carry over to the second. Johnny Gaudreau with the only goal. The Flames lead Arizona 1-0 after 1. Back to the studio with Doug MacLean and Billy Jaffe. Once again, here's Leah Hextall.
Kellis Flames hockey continues from Calgary. The only goal. Period 1 belongs to Johnny Gaudreau, his 23rd of the season, hence a 1-0 Flames advantage. As the Flames come onto the ice to start the second period, we call in our Flames analyst, Eric Francis. And a lot of people, Eric, were concerned about just how the Flames might start this one tonight, but true to form, they were pretty relentless.
No nerves here. It looks like these guys have responded with as good a start as we've seen as a long time. That's been a concern all year long. But look at the way the entire period they dictated the pace. They absolutely peppered Smith. 18 shots on goal. They did it by moving their legs, dictating the pace of play throughout the entire period, creating all sorts of good scoring chances. And they did it at both ends of the ice, too, which is really good news. Look at the top of your screen there, Jones, with a real nice little back check there. They're making sure that they also keep their distance from Hiller. We obviously don't want him to get hurt. The Flames fans don't, and they're doing a great job keeping him outside. There's the payoff right there, and look how serious Johnny Gaudreau is. Normally, he's just thrilled. There, he knows, he's all business. These guys are taking this very seriously.
Drawing penalties as well. One thing the Flames did by moving their feet and forcing the play in the offensive zone, Eric, they found a nice job of really kind of getting the Coyotes flat foot.
They drew all 3 penalties that the Coyotes were called on in that period. Spent almost a third of the period on the power play. 8 scoring chances in total, but look at these. Going to the net, draws another penalty there. And here's a little bit of a lazy one, but still a threatening position for the Flames. And they draw the 3rd penalty. And then here's just the relentless power play. Like I said, 8 scoring chances just on the power play alone. You'd like to have seen them get another goal, because when a team dominates like they did in the first period, you want to see more of a payoff. But a great effort by the Flames in the first period. No signs of slowing down heading into the second.
And the Flames will have a 33-second man advantage as Tobias Rieder sits to the penalty box. Rick and Kelly, second period, George.
Roger, Eric, thank you. As you check the scoring summary, Kelly.
Johnny Gaudreau with his 23rd on the power play, assist to Weidman and Russell. Great advantage for the Flames in shots on goal, 18-7 in that first period.
Mike Smith was very good.
He was.
In the opening 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
If not for some excellent goaltending, Calgary might be up by 2 or 3.
And now, is that a concern?
Nope.
Okay.
Because the Flames' best periods are yet to come.
Yes, I would agree with you.
I mean, that was a very good first for Calgary. Lots of pressure started by drawing a penalty on the very first shift of the game.
Just thought I could see if I could throw you off a little bit.
In they come over the line on the power play. Gaudreau with a shot. He put it wide, looking for a second of the game. Puck comes back to the point to Weidman. Behind the net for Gaudreau. Threw it out front. That's intercepted. And cleared to center ice. Weidman plays it back to Russell. Gaudreau late in the power play. Takes his time. Penalty over. Back to Weidman. Winds up and shoots. Pad save. Rebound goes past Gaudreau. And the Coyotes bring it out. Rieder wheels through center. Carries down the wing with a shot. That deflected wide of the goal. Puck comes to the near point. Shot by Moore, never got through. Bounces off Monahan. And Gaudreau late in the shift will play the puck in as he heads to the bench on a change. Puck given away to Doan at the line with a long slap shot and a glove save by Hiller, who hangs on for a whistle.
So Rieder came out of the penalty box when Weidman was walking in from his point position for the chance, and not sure if Rieder hacks the hand of Weidman. No, I think he just gets a stick in there, and it was on the follow through where Weidman, I think he just gets a stick in the hand right there. He's kind of waving his hand around a little bit in a little bit of pain, but lately we've seen a little bit of that from Weidman. He's hit a little bit more often, banged up a little bit.
Including an accidental collision with Sam Gagner in the first period that rattled Weidman. Didn't miss a shift though. Here's Bowman with a shot off the wing that goes off the crossbar. Lance Bowman with a nice wrister, and that ricochets off the bar, not a play.
Would you call that a wicked wrister? I'd say so.
Absolutely.
That one fooled Mike Smith. You don't think of Lance Bowman as an amazing shot. He's got a good shot, but not sure. That might have hit the stick of Ekman Larson and went up and beat Mike Smith cleanly, but it hits the crossbar and goes out of play. Quick hands, quick release from Lance Bowman on that one.
16 goals this year for Lance Bowman. He talked about working on his specific skill of shooting the puck.
Yep.
Boys, it paid off, yes. Colborne facing off against Gagner. Flames win the draw. Raymond plays that to the crease, turned aside by Smith. Here's Raymond again. Puck comes back to Brody. Tries a long shot that's blocked. Sam Gagner clears. Derek Englund. Backlund tips it in. John Moore going back to it. Former Ranger came over as part of the Keith Yandle trade. Moss at center ice. Checked by Backlund and a good play. TJ Brody. Mason Raymond works the puck in with a shot. That bounces wide of the goal. Backlund's taken down by Irak. Play continues. Ferland gets the puck to Backlund. Bumped by Murphy. More to the puck. Behind the net. Good hustle there by Ferland to steal the puck away. Michael Ferland doing some good work. Flips the puck towards the goal. Knocked down by Connor Murphy, who clears the zone. Out to Crombie at center. Lifts it into the Calgary end. Schlemko to it. Now Dennis Weidman. Granlund. Juris. Campbell breaks up that rush. Schlemko. Over to Weidman. That was a dangerously slow pass, but Weidman hustled to get the puck to the corner. And here's Juris back to Granlund in his skates. Drops it off for Weidman at the line. David Schlemko. Gaudreau now at center ice. Top line coming out for Calgary. Nice pass to Monahan. That's broken up at the line though. Yuri Hudler flips it in. Mike Smith will play the puck.
spectacular, Rick, but not the same north.
There's a giveaway to Hudler with a shot. Glove saved by Smith. As Yuri Hudler had a great chance off a giveaway. TJ Brodie with a puck. Monahan in the slot, knocked off his stick. Gaudreau with a shot that's blocked. Bounces back to Brodie. Brodie shoots, blocker save. And the rebound to McGinn, who played it ahead to Chipchura. And just as you were saying, there wasn't any urgency, Kelly. All of a sudden there was.
Great chance from the slot.
Kyle Chipchura turning on the boards. Watched by Monahan. Pass out front. Nobody there. Puck bounces to Ekman-Larsson. Works it across the line. He wants to shoot. Does. That goes off Brodie into the corner. And he clears the zone out to center ice. Michael Stone fires the puck in. Calgary Hitmen, his former team, moving on to the second round of the playoffs. There's a shot on Hiller.
First
he
is the
hangs on.
Medicine Hat Tigers. So Mike Smith, a couple of good chances here by the Flames. This first one, though, you could tell by his reaction that he had a hard time picking this one up. Yeah, went right through the defenseman's legs. And that's why the reaction from Smith, that puck was almost past him by the time that he reacted. And then Yuri Hudler gets that high slot chance right there. That was a terrific glove save from Mike Smith. But I just haven't seen the north-south play yet. The same from the Flames as they had in the first period. Maybe they'll get it a little bit later here in the second.
David Jones flips the puck in. John Moore takes control. Sam Gagner through center. Puck comes to Erat. Back to the line. Murphy with a shot into traffic. Hiller makes the save. Rebound loose. Pad save Hiller. Second shot goes wide. Moss put it across the open net and out the other side. That close to being a tie game. Moss to the puck. Erat in the corner. Gets it back to Gagner with a one-timer, and that catches Boma up near the neck. Boma looks like he's okay. That was dangerous. Weidman gets the puck out to center ice. Stajan plays it deep as the Flames will make wholesale changes. Wild scramble in front of the Calgary net.
I'll say, and what an amazing play by Matt Stajan to keep that puck out.
Backlund, fan. Checked by Stone. Puck winds up in the near corner. John Moore hustles over, cut off by Raymond. Englund pinches. Flames can't keep it onside, though, as they regroup at center ice. Colborne right back in with Raymond. Joe Colborne with a shot. Glove saved by Smith. And he hangs on.
So the most dangerous play here by the Coyotes in the second period. Point shot from Murphy, and that gets through. Erat gets a great chance right here, and Moss, and that's Matt Stajan. He deflects that away from the open net. Stajan to the top of the picture. He's there and out of midair.
Oh, yeah.
What hand-eye coordination.
You're right, that was going in.
That is ridiculous. That puck was going in the net, and Matt Stajan saved the goal. It would have been 1-1.
That line's been good tonight.
Yes.
And that was a good defensive play by the center, Matt Stajan. Flames still lead. Past the 5-minute mark of the second period. Schwartz chases the puck into the Calgary zone. Battling Schlemko. Cunningham in there as well. He's tied up by Potter. Backlund winds up with a loose puck. Chipchura trying to check him. Joe Colborne gets control. Plays it over to Schlemko. Chipchura gets it back. Cunningham got it over the line. Backlund recovers. Michael Backlund lead pass to Corey Potter up on the play. Potter risks the puck in. Josh Juris after on the far side. Puck comes back. There's a shot for Granlund. Stopped by Smith. Rebound bouncing at the top of the crease and taken away. And out come the Coyotes. Vitale leads the way. Down the wing. Drop pass for Crombie who chops it. Brodie. Derek Englund around the boards. And that's a little too hard. But it slows down and up. And it's caught up to by Ekman-Larsson who feeds a quick pass ahead to Crombie. Works it off the boards on the backhand with a shot that goes wide. Michael Ferland to the puck. Josh Juris at center. Marcus Granlund carries in. Juris joins him. Pass deflected. Juris battling for the puck with Stone. As they go towards the corner, McGinn cleans up. Time McGinn feeds it ahead, and out comes Oliver Ekman-Larsson to center ice. Fires the puck wide of the goal. Erat onto it on the far side as Brodie overskated it. Moss got it back to the line. Shot from the point, deflected by Gagner wide of the goal. He was all alone for a second in front. Pass out front, blocked by Granlund. Moss cuts the puck off. Bounces free to Brodie. And he finds Jiri Hudler at center ice. Weidman into the forecheck. Gets the puck free out front for Hudler. Knocked away from him. Back to Chris Russell. Hard pass down low, intercepted by Gagne. And out comes Erat. Lifts it in on goal. Gloved by Hiller. Leaves the puck for Chris Russell. Past the 7-minute mark of the second. Shots are 24-11 Calgary. 1-0. Flames leading on Johnny Gaudreau's 23rd. He's in on the attack now. Pushed off the puck along the boards. Gaudreau heads to the bench. John Moore brings the puck towards his own line. Pass blocked by Boma. Moore regroups. Murphy hit hard by Boma. Lifts it down the ice. And it's an icing call on Arizona.
Calgary's known for the Flames and the Rockies. Let's take a look at what's happening at the Rockies' best resorts.
What a comeback by the Ottawa Senators, Kelly. Wow.
Hoffman tied it 3-3, and Stone won it in overtime, down 3-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. What a story the Ottawa Senators continue to be.
Yeah, Detroit won tonight, so had they lost, they would have been out. They'd lost in regulation, if I'm not mistaken. So amazing in Ottawa. The Flames looking to put a clinch on a playoff spot in the West. They lead 1-0 over Arizona in the second.
Pens and Sens. Pittsburgh went up 3-0 in this one. The Sens come all the way back to tie it, force overtime, and Mark Stone ends it. Yes, the rookie with his second of the game, as those Senators will not go away. There's under 10 minutes left in the Jets-St. Louis game. The Jets are up 1-0 in that one. Meanwhile, LA and Edmonton, no score in that contest.
Thank you, Leah. Here in Calgary, 8 minutes into the second period, 1-0 Flames. I want to clarify that Flames can't clinch a playoff spot, but can certainly move a lot closer with a win tonight. They can clinch if they win tonight and beat LA here in Calgary on Thursday. So it's like playoffs right now.
There's an excitement in your voice, I sense, Rick.
Are you kidding me? This is fantastic. And they played well so far in this game, but Mike Smith's been sharp. Coyotes have been better in the second period.
Yes, that's just the point I was going to make. It's been a lot closer here in the second period than it was in the first.
Gagne works the puck down low. Looking out front, pass blocked by Colborne. Brody to the puck in the corner. Works it out of his own end. T.J. Brody through center. In for Raymond on the wing. Brody stays in on the play. Ekman Larson put it behind the net. Colborne leans into his man and threw a good shoulder into Schwartz, but he winds up with the puck and brings it out of his own zone. Jordan Schwartz goes wide, knocked off his stick at the line, but he gets it back, plays it towards the corner. Behind the net for Cunningham. Puck comes to Chichura on the far side. Good check by Russell. Loose at the line. Raymond can't get it out as Campbell stands his ground. Jiri Hudler able to tip the puck to center ice. Dahlbeck back to it, plays it to his partner Campbell. Backhands it out. Weidman knocks that down. Here goes Gaudreau over the line. Johnny Gaudreau, drop pass, Monahan shot. Off a stick and out of play.
Calgary Roughnecks Lacrosse Party returns to Saddledome on Friday night for Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Cardell Homes. It's the last home game of the regular season. They'll host the Edmonton Rush. Face-off is 7:30. Get your tickets now at CalgaryRoughnecks.com.
Monahan line creating some offense right here. Good pass up the middle by Dennis Weidman, and there goes Johnny Gaudreau with his usual quick feet and quick hands getting the puck into the slot.
Connor Murphy with a lead pass to Cunningham. Pardon me, Crombeen chips that in. Schlemko goes to it, off the boards and out. A little too hard, but racing after it's Gaudreau, not enough to take off the icing call as Moore gets there first. Approaching the midway mark of the second period.
And Johnny Gaudreau, what a terrific season. I think those numbers pretty much tell you everything that you need to know. Pretty much first in every rookie rank. And getting the goal already in the first period is 23rd. And so 1 point up on Philip Forsberg so far.
Potter to a loose puck. One hands it outside the line. Arcabello knocked down by Monahan, makes a play. Back to Stone. His pass intercepted at center ice by Hudler. Flames make a change as they head into the attack. Boma throws a hit. Stajan gets the puck. Boma's on his knees. Puck caught up underneath him as they chop away at it. Coyotes clear. Derek Englund back. David Jones. Tipped in by Ferland. Smith plays that to Stone. Clears the zone. TJ Brodie lead pass to Stajan. Ferland with him over the line. David Jones as well, but he couldn't handle the pass. Gets the puck in the corner. Plays it back to the line to Brodie. Ferland now turning. Played it back towards Jones. He's going to the bench. And Arizona takes it away. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with a lead pass to Joe Vitale at center ice. Over the line, Vitale with a shot turned aside by Hiller. Back to Vitale. TJ Brodie gets the puck. McGinn knocked it off his stick. Josh Juris there, back this way. Up the boards for Raymond. Raymond, quick pass to Juris. Juris now the wing with speed. Granlund with him. Juris out front. Knocked away by Vitale, coming back hard on the back check. Juris pass back out front, deflected away. And the Coyotes settle things down. Both teams changing. Off the bench is Gagne. He tries a shot that's blocked by Schlemko. Rides Gagne into the corner. Monahan tries to fish the puck out of skates. David Moss there for the Coyotes as well. Gagne behind the net for Moss. Broken up by Schlemko. Puck chipped towards the line. Not out. Erat turning. Works the puck down the boards to the circle. Marty Erat still with the puck. Fires it across. Dahlbeck double clutch on the shot attempt. Got the puck down low to Gagne. Now Moss behind the net. Trying to get it out front of the backhand. Drops it off instead to Campbell. Campbell with a shot. That goes off Gaudreau's stick. Weird bounce off the glass right back out front. Gaudreau takes it away. And here he goes. Johnny Gaudreau into the zone. Gaudreau shoots. Blocked. Hoodler got a weak shot away. And it trickles into the crease. Smith covers up. 7:53 to go. Second period. Still 1-0 Calgary leading the Coyotes.
CP Goals for Kids is proudly sponsored by Canadian Pacific and its 2,700 Railroaders based in Calgary. For every Flames goal this season, the Railway will donate $250 to Kids Sport and the Flames Even Strength program. Keep scoring, Flames. Help CP build stronger kids and stronger community.
Quickness, a big part of the Flames game. Mason Raymond gets the puck just inside the Flames zone, spots Juris. Full head of speed right there. He in turn tries to find Granlund, but the veteran Joe Vitale with an excellent defensive play takes away that pass to Marcus Granlund.
Face-off win, Joe Colborne. Raymond in the corner with a shot, never got it through. Blocked by Stone. Raymond still battling. Backlund comes in to help, gets it behind the net. Bumped by Chipchura. Backlund gets away from him. Backlund got a shot away, put it just wide. That had potential. Colborne stays on the puck. Good work by this line. Raymond to Backlund, chopped away from him, and it winds up in the Calgary bench.
Michael Backlund, just such a smart player, always in good position defensively, gets an offensive chance right here. Good puck protection right there, gets away from Vitale, or Chipchura, excuse me, and gets a good chance right here in front. Puck is deflected just wide. Colborne goes in for the rebound, tries to get it behind the net.
Top line back out for Calgary. Scramble draw. Shane Doan brings it out. Doan sitting on 898 career points. Alkirk, Alberta native, gets the puck, trying to cut out front, chopped off his stick. Winds up on the far boards. Doan check there, and Johnny Gaudreau will flip it out to center ice. Yuri Hoodler dumps the puck in. Campbell watched by Gaudreau. Monahan as well. Mark Arcabello through center ice. Dennis Weidman will wheel back the other way. Now the Flames start a change. 6:45 to go in the second. Pass intercepted by Stajan. Boma took a hip check, but gets the puck deep. Smith out of the goal, fires it up the boards for Crombeen. Chips it past Englund out to center ice. Matt Stajan there. TJ Brodie. Derek Englund. Again, Smith cuts it off. Englund pinches. Crombeen can't get it past number 29. Bouncing puck along the board. Stajan knocks down Crombeen. David Jones comes in to help out. So does Boma. knocked away from him. Matt Staging gets the puck in the corner. Back to the line to Englund. Englund over to Brody with a bit of room. Brody out front into the feet of Jones. Vitale there to clean up and clear the zone. Englund back. Hard around. Juris tipped it out front, just out of the reach of Granlund. Bouncing back to the line to Russell. Chris Russell threw it on goal. That bounced off of Juris wide. Russell stays in deep. Plays the puck to the near boards. Granlund hustling over. Gets it loose to Ferland. Trying to cut out front. David Moss checks Ferland. Put the puck off the boards. Not out. Good shift for Calgary. Juris trying to get it loose. Winds up on the stick of Moss. He finds Erat through center ice. Erat ran into Dennis Wideman. Puck goes deep behind the net. Granlund kicks it to the corner for Wideman. And he clears the zone all the way down the ice. And this will be icing on Calgary with 5:12 to go in the second period.
Bob Hartley has done just such a great job of trying to get offense from the defense. We saw that in Johnny Gaudreau goal, Russell and Wideman the assists. I think he's having a conversation right now. Does he want to take a TV timeout?
After the icing call, looks like he won't.
He won't.
Thought about it. Juris against Sam Gagner on the draw.
Martin Erat and Dennis Wideman now having words just before the face-off.
Clean win for Josh Juris. Ferland trying to get the puck outside the line, get some help from Juris, but this will be another icing call. But that will allow the Calgary skaters to catch their breath a little more.
It's not easy having a lot of energy when the wins are hard to come by. You take a look at the Coyotes, only 4 wins since February 10th. I say all things considered, they played pretty good passion level tonight, Rick, especially here in the second.
Much better in the second period. That's 4 wins over a 25-game stretch, Kelly.
That is hard to fathom.
Marcus Granlund dumps the puck in. And not many OTLs either in that stretch. A lot of regulation losses.
Yeah.
Here comes Erat into the zone, drops it off. And they're going to blow that down on the offside. 4:41 to go in the second period. Flames with a 1-0 lead on the Coyotes. Telus Flames hockey on Sportsnet.
Kings tied with the Flames at 93 points. They're taking on the Oilers in the second. Martin Jones is in net for LA, and Matt Fraser will solve him. It is 1-0 for the Oilers. And do you want to make mention, Jets and Blues, Jets up 1-0 with mere seconds left. Rick and Kelly, I can't handle it.
That's exciting.
Nor can we, Leah.
What a finish to the season. I don't know who made the schedule this year, but he must have had a crystal ball because there's so many massive games down the stretch.
Isn't that the truth? Could be perfect for us on Saturday afternoon in Winnipeg.
Flames hoping the Oilers will do them a favor up the highway. As Leah mentioned, 1-0 Edmonton leading the LA Kings. Another icing call on Calgary here. 4:20 left in the second period.
Jonas Hiller, not a lot of action, not a lot of quality chances. Probably the best chance that the Coyotes had. David Moss had an open net, and Matt Stajan, the hero. So Jonas Hiller, again, it's a test of concentration. Only faced 12 shots here by the Coyotes.
Face-off win for Arizona. Shot by Ekman Larsson. That's blocked by Boma, and he is down. Took that off the chest, it looked like. Boma struggles back to his feet. Flames bring the puck out. What a gutsy play by Lance Boma. Just put it on the list.
Their 15th block. You see, and he gets a rousing ovation. Yes.
Boma's going to the room, though. Ekman Larsson to Erat. Pass for Gagner too far. And that goes off the shoulder of Erat over the glass, not a play.
So right off the face-off, Coyotes get a good chance. Ekman Larsson leans into this one, and Boma recognizes the danger. That is his 4th block in tonight's game. You could tell immediately that that had caused some sort of damage, able to get up. But as you said, Rick, he immediately went down the tunnel towards the Flames dressing room.
So we'll keep an eye on Lance Boma. The Kings have tied it at 1 at Edmonton early second period. Get to the final from Winnipeg as soon as we can. Johnny Gaudreau, good hustle to take off an icing call. Puck battle ensues. Gaudreau got it back to Potter. Quickly across to Schlemko. Schlemko shoots, deflected wide. Gaudreau kicks it behind the net to Jiri Hudler. Hudler back to Schlemko. His shot deflected off the stick of Jordan Swartz, not a play.
For every Flames hit this season, Jamin donates $100 in the fight against multiple sclerosis. Join the fight versus MS at Jamin.com. And how about the Winnipeg Jets? A second consecutive shutout on the road. They blanked the St. Louis Blues 1-0. The Jets getting closer and closer to the postseason.
Wow.
Andre
Win
Pavlik, yeah.
in Minnesota and in St.
Wow.
Louis.
30 saves tonight for Pavlik. Last night, of course, shutting out the Minnesota Wild 2-0.
Two tough buildings, too. That's
Also.
big wins for the Jets. Here's Raymond back at the line. Raymond with a shot. That's blocked. Stone got a stick in the way of that one and cleared the zone. Dumped in by Cunningham. Russell back to it. Raymond up the boards. Backlund. Weidman. Puck stolen. Shot blocked by Russell. Knocked off a stick. Shot up high. And Hiller in the second shot. They score on the rebound. Puck bouncing around, and B.J. Crombeen able to bat it into the net and tie this game at 1.
It's like the Coyotes had a man advantage after the initial shot block from Chris Russell. He was in pain and couldn't get up. Couldn't help out in his own zone, so here's the initial chance right here. And the giveaway, there's a shot. It looks fairly harmless, but it looks as though Chris Russell kind of turned his leg out, and Hiller makes the next save. Rebound goes right out in front, and Crombeen's in the high slot. Takes a whack at it, and a fluttering puck beats Jonas Hiller. And so this is not what the Flames need. The pace of this second period had slowed considerably the last 7 or 8 minutes. So we'll keep our eye on Chris Russell as well to see if he's able to come back.
Crombeen shot deflects in off Weidman. Just the third of the season for Crombeen. And it's a tie game. Oh, big hit thrown by Englund, who lights up Reeder coming in over the blue line. That was an old school body check.
Yes, it was.
Hey, kid, you keep your head down, you're going to get it. And Reeder got it, but he's okay. Back on the puck, wheeling out of his own zone. Shot wide. Gaudreau turning. Across for Granlund. Tips the puck to Derek Englund. Works it down the wing. Englund, weak shot wide. Hudler put it behind the net. Stone there to take it away. Watched by Gaudreau. Crowd starting to come alive here in Calgary. As out come the Coyotes. 3 of them through center ice. Shot off the wing. Stopped by Hiller. Time again with control. Works it back to the line. Stone, slap shot wide. Big bounce off the end boards, right to Hudler. End of a shift, though. Knocked off a stick at the line. Puck battle ensues. Monahan trying to get it, taken away by Joe Vitale. A minute and a half to go in the second period. Time again. Watched by Colborne. McGinn gets the puck out to Vitale. Broken up at center ice. Swartz to it. Dropped it off at his own line. Ekman Larson fires it across. Stone. McGinn. Vitale. Wires it around. Erat just off the bench. Gave it away to Russell. He's back on the ice. Good to see. Clears the zone. Campbell knocks it down at center.
There's 1 minute remaining.
Final minute of play in the second period. Dahlbeck in his own end. Erat. Campbell, bank pass. Tipped in by Moss. Russell. Gave it away to Erat on the boards. Pass out front. Deflected out the center ice by Matt Stajan. Klaus Dahlbeck proceeds to ice the puck. 38.6 seconds left in the middle period.
And Rick, you'll like this. Here's the old school hit that you were raving about. Derek Englund on Tobias Reeder right there, head down, and he takes advantage of that. Cleanly, I might add. And good to see, though, that Reeder is able to get up and continue to play.
Paying homage to Scott Stevens with that body
There you
check.
go. I like it.
Josh Juris on the draw against Gagne. He wins it, but they're going to do it over again. Flames have to recapture the energy they had in the first period.
Yeah. I'm sure the message will be in the dressing room, let's start moving our feet again, boys, because that certainly hasn't been the case, especially the latter part of this second period.
Backlund against Gagne. Backlund wins it cleanly to Brody. Raymond, shot never got through. Bounces over to Schlemko. He'll try a shot, deflects wide. Dahlbeck fires it down the ice, and this will be another icing call. As Brody hustles back, 23.6 seconds left in the period. Let's take a look at the standings, Kelly.
The updated standings, Rick, so for our viewers to get a chance to see how Winnipeg has now helped themselves in a tie now with Minnesota. And you take a look where the Flames sit, third place in the Pacific. St. Louis still at 105 points, but after that loss tonight, you have to go back all the way to mid-January, the last time they won 2 in a row at home. And still with 105 points.
Minnesota leading in Chicago in the third, 1-0. Gagne cuts off that puck. Sam Gagne with a shot, put that through the crease. Winds up at center ice. Gaudreau chases, time ticking down. Final seconds left. Wind off the clock as Gaudreau's knocked down along the boards, and the second period comes to an end. So a goal by B.J. Crombeen late in the second ties this game at 1 through 40 minutes. Back to the studio. Here's Leah Hextall.
Telus Flames hockey returns to Calgary. B.J. Crombeen has tied it up. It's 1-1. The Coyotes and Flames after 2 periods. And our Flames analyst Eric Francis stops by once more. We've all heard the terminology playoff atmosphere, but playoff tension can also happen before the playoffs arrive, and we've got that.
It's quite a roller coaster, and everyone in Calgary's wanted this for years, and now we've got it. And I can tell you, if you're nervous at home, you can only imagine how intense it is here in the arena. It's very quiet here. And just to show you how much of a roller coaster it is, I want to take you back. In a 1-minute period, elapsed time, 4 things happened that devastated Flames fans. Of course, the first thing was the Lance Boma block. He left the game and has now come back. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Then, of course, the Coyotes scored, and all within the same minute, the Jets won their game, and the LA Kings tied the game with the Oilers. Now, the Oilers have since gone up 2-1. Everybody knows that because everybody's watching very closely. But at least the Flames are still playing with poise, and I want to give an example of that. Look at this block by Matt Stajan. A lot of people at home and in the rink were saying, how did that not go in? It didn't go in because Matt Stajan's hands were so soft, and he managed to keep that out. The Flames are playing poised. Their body language is not good right now, but they are a third-period team. We have to remember that.
Not a lot of questions here in Calgary, but one of them is, will we see Sam Bennett?
Yeah.
Sam Bennett's here after Kingston on him. What do you think?
Well, with Boma out, he didn't come back at the end of the period. He may be back now. He's the toughest guy we know. He's not back on the bench, we're told right now. However, that could mean, if he's not back, that could mean some players could shuffle around and Bennett could get his debut. Do you want to have him debut against the LA Kings in the biggest game this franchise has had in 5 years? I don't know, it's a pretty tall order. But all the guys that he would naturally replace, like Granlund, are having a really good game again tonight. They did it Saturday. Granlund, Joe Colborne, Josh Juris have been spectacular tonight. All these guys know that Sam Bennett's pushing him to be better. So again, we said it in the pregame, I'll say it now. Even though he hasn't been in the lineup, he's already making this team a better team.
Well, third period important here. After our game tonight, we'll head to Edmonton for third period action with the Oilers and LA Kings. Massive interest in that as well. Rick and Kelly, it's yours.
All right, thank you, Roger and Eric. Let's check the scoring summary brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago.
Johnny Gaudreau scored in the first period on the power play. His 23rd shots advantage, 18-7 for the Flames. And then 17:09 of the second period, B.J. Crombeen got his third goal, assist from Cunningham. Shots in favor of the Coyotes in that second period, 8-7 over the Flames.
And as Eric mentioned, no sign of Lance Boma on the bench. So the Flames down a forward to start the third. Russell fires the puck around the boards. Gaudreau back to Weidman at the line. Now Gaudreau. Russell. Shot blocked off the leg of Moss into the corner. Stone there to pick it up. Falls down. Hudler can't get the puck. Monahan does. Back to Hudler. That pass intercepted by Erat. Moss clears the zone. Gagne onto it. Ekman-Larsson joins the rush. Works it in with a shot. And blocker saved by Hiller. Ekman-Larsson gets the rebound off the back of the net. Hudler able to bank it out. Gaudreau races onto it. Monahan with him. Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau. Monahan. Wide. Smith may have gotten a piece of it, but it bounced off the outside of the net. Back comes Gagne. Gagne with Reeder in front. Gagne, backhand, and that's blocked off the leg of David Jones. Furious pace to start this third period. Murphy fires it back in. Weidman on the boards, and the Coyotes didn't tag up. They blow it down on an offside call. Wow, what a start to the third.
Turned into a track meet, didn't it? So both teams getting excellent scoring chances. The Coyotes getting the first one, a little flip pass right here. Gagne just skates into it, and then there's the cross-ice pass, and a terrific save right there off of Ekman Larsson, and then the Flames come right back. Johnny Gaudreau spots Monahan right there, and he can't finish it off. Bouncing puck. Boy, that was good action.
TJ Brody over to Derek Englund. David Jones tipped it in, taken away by Moore, but he hands it right back. Here's Berlin with a shot. Nice save, rebound, they score! Jones goes top shelf. And it's 2-1 Calgary.
This line has been excellent in both ends of the ice this evening, centered by Matt Stajan, and they get it going here in the third period. Nice simple breakout right here, get the puck in deep. David Jones intercepts that pass. There's the long shot from Ferland, and David Jones goes right to the front of the net. That's what's required when you're a big power forward like that. He was moving his feet exceptionally well in the first, and here in the third, he gets rewarded for it.
So with Boma hurt, Ferland gets a chance to skate with that line, picks up a point. Flames back on top. Coyotes back into the zone. Campbell with a shot. Off a body pad save. Rebound stopped by Hiller as he robbed Cunningham from point-blank range. What a save by Jonas Hiller. Puck bounces outside the zone. That was close.
That was close. I'm not sure this is the way the Flames want to play. Exchange chance for chance.
Crombie with a shot. Hiller makes the save. And he's going to settle things down and hang on.
So the Flames go up 2-1 in the Jones goal, and then the very next shift, the Coyotes funnel a lot of pucks to the net. There's Chip Chur in front. Cunningham. Oh, look at the reaction from Cunningham. Throws his head back. He thought he had a goal right there. Jonas Hiller, desperation save. I like the positioning of Hiller too. Top of the crease to make that rebound save.
Calgary Flames made it official. Lance Boma will not return tonight. Such a warrior for the Calgary Flames, but just a nasty shot block in the midsection. Here comes Ferland down the wing. Granlund tipped the puck through the slot. Juris couldn't pick it up. Swartz able to clear the zone. Juris gets it back. Ferland back with his normal line mates for the time being. Now he heads off. Mike Smith gives the puck to Stone. Joe Vitale flips it in. TJ Brody up the boards, cut off by Vitale, but it got through to Gaudreau, and here goes Yuri Hudler. Sean Monahan over the line. Monahan out front, Gaudreau tipped it wide. Couldn't get a real good wood on that pass. Puck cleared to center. Ooh, there's a giveaway to McGinn. As Weidman fan on the pass, McGinn with a shot. Weidman got his stick in the way, and that puck goes over the glass, not a play. Another winner in the score and win, courtesy of Safeway. Karen Robertson of Calgary has won a Blu-ray prize pack from E1. Congratulations, Karen.
Good entry by the Flames into the Coyote zone. Good puck movement right here, which is no surprise considering it's the Monahan line. Monahan throws it out front. Gaudreau just can't find the handle. Normally he converts on those. That was right in the wheelhouse.
Faceoff goes between the D down the ice. Campbell to it. Klaus Dahlbeck feeds it ahead. Erat almost coughed it up to stage it. Gagne settles it down, drops it off to Dahlbeck. Brings the puck out of his own zone, dumps it in. Chris Russell. David Jones can't chop it out. Matt Stajan. Colborne clears the zone. Stone off the bench, gets it for Arizona. Ahead to Gagne. Now Erat. Gagne back to Stone with a quick shot. Glove save, Hiller. And he hangs on.
Introducing the new BF Goodrich KO2 tire. BF Goodrich. Take control.
Talked about how productive the third periods have been for the Flames this year, and this is updated with the David Jones goal. So they're only a goal back of the Lightning for most productive team in the third period, Rick.
Derek Engelland over to a puck, able to poke it ahead to Hoodler. He'll clear the zone. Racing onto it is Gaudreau. Monahan with him. So is Brody. Gaudreau out front. Glove save. Smith. He didn't hang on to it, but the referee blows it down. Lost sight of the puck. Aaron Whistle. But Smith with a big stop on Johnny Gaudreau.
Here's Gaudreau entering the zone. Ekman Larsson has pinched at the Flames blue line. Just listen to that. Clearly the puck was out of this glove of Smith, but the referee had lost sight. And so Brad Watson blows the whistle, which as a former goaltender I agree with. You lose sight of it, then you blow it down. And it looked as though, I think all of us would agree, it looked as though Mike Smith did catch it. Yeah. That was the initial reaction.
Well, the puck would have gone over the head of Watson. Right. Didn't see it, obviously, right. So it's the right call, even if it's the wrong call. Monahan back to Russell with traffic in front. There's a shot that's blocked. Schwartz trying to get it out. Stone does. Weidman gets over to it. Back to Chris Russell at the blue line. Gaudreau tipped it in. Smith out of the goal. Flames making changes. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, always dangerous. Works the puck out of his own zone. Bank pass to Schwartz. Chipchura is in front of the goal. Puck comes around to Cunningham with a great chance moments ago. It's stopped by Hiller. Pass out front. Here's Cunningham again. That one blocked. Bounces back to Murphy. TJ Brody along the boards. Able to clear it past the point down the ice. Icing waved off. Short shifts for Calgary. John Moore wheeling out of his own end. Long pass picked off by Engelland. Marty Erat knocks it away though. Winds up deep in the zone. Brody's there. Murphy keeps it alive. Erat to it. Brody in the corner. Colborne comes in to help. Now Erat. Moss out front, looking for Gagne. It went through the crease. And here's Mason Raymond with a bit of room. Fan on the pass. All he can do is get the puck to center. Now a steal at center ice. Backlund didn't know where it was. Raymond does. And he comes with a shot. Glove saved by Smith. And he freezes that. Backlund might have been at home free, but he didn't see the puck sitting near the blue line.
Agreed. TJ Brody with a big block, though, the 20th of the Flames in tonight's contest. And Cunningham, second shift in a row, gets a good scoring chance right here on the broken play. Brody gets his leg on it, and then Mason Raymond on the turnover from Murphy gets this shot off, and Mike Smith made that one look pretty easy, even though it was a pretty good shot.
29th shot of the game for Calgary. Staged it against Vitale, who wins the draw for Arizona. Campbell behind the net, hassled by Ferland, drops it off for Dahlbeck. And he'll take his time. So Ferland taking another shift with Stajan and Jones, led to a goal earlier in the period. Here goes Dahlbeck, dangling through center. Shot wide, Vitale behind the net. Back to Dahlbeck, one-timer, blocked out front by Jones. And out comes Matt Stajan. Three Flames through center. Stajan over the line, but it was knocked off a stick and they go offside.
Intact Insurance Company, proud to partner with the Calgary Flames.
Flames like the 7-game segments. Bob Hartley, that was his motive at the start of the season. We need to win the 7-game segments, and we can see here that it's, again, a pretty good run. That's since the All-Star break, and if they can hold on to tonight's 2-1 win, that'll put them up 4-1 in this segment.
And the only segment they didn't win was the one where they were in that losing skid. There's a shot stopped by Hiller. Shane Doan's left the game. We're told he will not return for Arizona.
Not surprised he wasn't skating as well as he normally does.
There's a giveaway. Gaudreau up front. Here's Hoodler with a shot. Hit the goalpost. That was close. Hoodler again. Passed in the slot. Nobody there. Taken away and cleared out by Crombeen. Onto the puck is Reeder. Reeder working in. Taken away by Russell. He clears. Could be a 2-on-1. Yuri Hoodler with Monahan. Hoodler shoots. Turned aside by Smith. Great chances for the top line. Late in the shift, they head off. Ekman Larsson takes his time. Drops it back to Murphy. Then the Flames steal the puck at the blue line. Backlund dumps it in. Raymond slow to get off as Erat wheels through center ice. Carries over the line. Marty Erat into the corner, watched by Brody. Cuts behind the net. Pass blocked by Ferland. David Moss onto the puck. Back to the blue line. John Moore. Murphy. Shot deflected twice wide of the goal. Brody. Nice play to his partner, Eric Englund. Lead pass to Backlund. Backlund through center. Flips it in. TJ Brody up on the play. Brody with a sharp angle shot. And that goes through the slot out the other side. Sam Gagner wheeling back the other way. Broken up at the line by Juris. Backlund slides it in. Juris on the forecheck. Icing waved off. Campbell to it. Hit by Juris, but makes a play to Moore. John Moore hassled by Granlund. Juris gets the puck. Good work by Calgary. Marcus Granlund on the boards. Back to Juris in the corner. Out front. Wide of the goal off the skate of David Jones. Bank pass to Schlemko, and he tried to flip it deep, but it hopped over a stick down the ice. Hiller. Dangerous play. He's out of the crease. Chance out front. They score. Jonas Hiller caught out of the crease, and Cunningham puts it home to tie the game at 2.
Jonas Hiller made a mistake early in the first period as well, shorthanded when Vitali hit the goal post. And on this play, he makes the right decision. He comes out, the puck was beyond Schlemko, but he's just got to make a quicker and a safer decision. And then there's a turnover, and ultimately the puck is fed over to Cunningham. But Chip Chura doesn't turn away, goes straight lines, which that's what he's supposed to do. Jonas Hiller just has to make up his mind much sooner than that and put the puck even in an open area and let there be a puck battle. That's fine too.
Cunningham, third of the season. Hiller robbed him earlier and then gives him a gift on that play. Chip Chura gets the only assist, and it's a 2-2 game. And that came moments after Yuri Hudler rang one off the goalpost. At the other end. His third of the year, assist number 24. Long pass for Stone out of his reach. Got away from Hudler. Weidman. Chris Russell. Gaudreau. One hands it out to center ice, but they're going to call that a glove pass, which is the right call with 11:48 to go in the third period. Jones gave Calgary a 2-1 lead, but it's all even.
Blue Jays baseball is back tomorrow night. Their second game of the season at Yankee Stadium. Toronto will beat New York in their season opener yesterday. Tomorrow gets underway 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Mountain on Sportsnet 1. And immediately following our game, we'll head to Rexall Place in Edmonton. The Oilers and LA Kings for third period action coming up at the conclusion of our match tonight.
Thank you, Roger. 2-1. Oilers leading LA through 2 periods of play in that game, by the way. Things got a little testy after the last whistle, Kelly.
And it's because Sean Monahan came in on the offside and then slowly made the puck go to Mike Smith. He shot it back at Monahan, then Ekman Larsson came in, and a little bit of bad blood.
No penalties, though. Stone plays it across. Ekman Larsson fires the puck in on goal. Hiller turns that to the corner for Derek Englund. And this will be an icing call on Calgary unless Ferland can beat Stone. Can't do it. And they have words in the corner.
Stone's been pretty feisty. I like his game. He's good at moving the puck, but he's also played with a real edge in tonight's contest, and you can see why the Coyotes, after this lottery draft, feel that they've got some good young players.
Third round pick in 08, Michael Stone. Kelly mentioned he played for the Hitmen, obviously. 65 points in 69 games his final season with the Hitmen.
Yeah. So he's got the offensive game, but he's really turning into a good physical player as well.
Face-off win for the Coyotes. Shot by Ekman Larsson wide of the goal. Bounces to Ferland off the end boards, and he chops it out. Oliver Ekman Larsson. He was the 6th overall pick in 2009. Gets the return pass. David Moss brings it in. Drops it off for Erat with a shot. Blocked by Brody. Second shot. That goes off Derek Englund, who winds up with control. Gets it to Ferland at center. Matt Stajan dumps it in. Flames are changing as Ekman Larsson gets control. Long pass to Gagner. End of his shift. Russell goes back to it. Crombie in the forecheck. Gaudreau kicks that to center ice. Taken away by Vitale. Since the end of the first period, the Coyotes have actually outshot Calgary 13-12.
Yep.
Top line out for the Flames. Here goes Monahan. Gaudreau with him. Monahan stops out front. Scores! A beauty for Sean Monahan, and Calgary's back on top.
And it looked as though the Coyotes were going to keep the puck in the Flame zone. And then nice set of hands, one-handed. Sean Monahan pokes the puck free. Right here, it looks as though Dahlbeck is going to keep the puck in. Monahan just blows by him right here, but he stops up and allows all the traffic to go past, including Murphy. A good play by Yuri Hudler right there to set Monahan free, but what a recognition by Monahan to stop and let all the defenders go past. You can see Campbell slid by. Mike Smith was complaining that Johnny Gaudreau had created some sort of interference, but the officials weren't listening to that.
Monahan, number 31 for the 20-year-old. And that may be the biggest of the season so far. 3-2 Calgary. Arcabello out of his own zone. Hiller plays the puck around the boards. Moss cuts it off but lost the puck to Raymond. Trying to clear, and does. Got it out the center. Colborne tipped it ahead and kicks the puck in. Past the midway mark of the third period. Stone gains the red line and plays it deep. TJ Brodie goes back. Brodie, long pass, too far. Juris, first man in, forces Smith to play the puck. Penalty coming up. Mike Smith roughing, I believe. He put the blocker into Josh Juris. I think he's the one getting the penalty, Kelly. Either way, the Flames going on the power play.
I would agree, I think so. So here is the long shooting from Brodie that Juris beats the puck to. Smith comes right there, and there's no question about that. He gets his glove up. And we're wondering if Mike Smith thought Johnny Gaudreau had interfered in the goal, and no, it's actually, in fact, if there's interference, it's B.J. Crombie that had collided with Mike Smith. And
what a goal by Monahan. It's a great shot. Flames lead 3-2. By shopping at Safeway, we have another winner in the store and win. Maureen Crusader of St. Albert's won a Hoover Air cordless vacuum courtesy of Safeway. And thanks to the Flames' third goal. 3-2 Calgary. They're on the power play for the fourth time. 1 for 3. They go to work. Russell gets the puck at the line. Over to Weidman. Back to Russell. Weidman, one-timer, broke his stick. He'll head to the bench for a new one. Flames keep the play alive. Chris Russell, wrister blocked. And it's flipped out to Chipchura. Cunningham, by the way, serving the penalty to Mike Smith. As the Coyotes dump the puck into the zone. 10.5 left in the power play. Yuri Hudler drops it off. Chris Russell brings it out. Miss Gaudreau. Hudler gets it. Russell. Weidman. Gaudreau, nice job picking up that pass. And he'll try and set it up now. Tied up in the corner. Monahan gets it back to Russell. Now they get set. Weidman throws it on goal, deflected wide. Gaudreau to it. Russell. Gaudreau. Weidman. Shot high. Stays in play. Ekman-Larsson gets the puck. Feeds it ahead. And it's flipped in by Toby Reeder at the end of his penalty killing shift.
Mike Smith did not even react to that shot from Weidman. So much traffic, didn't see it.
Backlund coughed it up. Vitale plays it deep again. Russell's there, over to Weidman. 30 seconds left in the penalty. As Weidman slowly brings the puck out of his own zone. Here goes Backlund. Down the wing, Michael Backlund turns. Pass deflected, but he gets it to Colborne. Late in the power play, Colborne's shot blocked. Stone got in the way. Brodie keeps the play alive. TJ Brodie over to Colborne in his skates. Stone Good play to get it to the boards, and it's played off a stick and out to center ice, and that'll do it. No shots on the power play. Cunningham out of the box. Flames 1 for 4 with a man advantage. They've had the only 4 power plays in the game. Michael Ferland almost stole a puck. Stone gets it back. And Swartz there to clear the zone. Onto it is Gagne. Plays it into Moss. David Moss turning. Waits for support. Falls down. Banks it to Gagne. Now Martin Erat. Battling Ferland. Brody comes in to help. Erat to Moss. Back to Erat. Works it to the line. One-timer by Murphy. Turned away. May have gone off the stick of Moss wide. Moss. Gagne. Ekman Larson missed the pass, but keeps the play onside with a nice move. Down the boards with a puck. Ekman Larson got away from Jones. Can't get away from Stajan. And the puck's finally cleared to center ice. Connor Murphy right back in. Long slap shot, but they're going to blow it down on the offside call.
Tonight's Safeway $1 Million Score and Win Grand Prize winner will receive an all-inclusive trip for 2 to a Grand Bahia Principe Resort, courtesy of redtag.ca, where Canada shops for great travel deals. Tonight's grand prize winner is Larry Wheaton of Black Falls. Congratulations, Larry. Shop at Safeway today. You could be our next lucky winner.
Some good communication with the coaching staff and the players on the Flames bench, trying to make sure everybody has their jobs and they know what they're doing here in the final 6.5 minutes.
With a 3-2 lead on Arizona. Crombeen, long pass out of the reach of everybody. They wave off icing. Weidman gets to it, up the boards to Hoodler. He's checked. Worked out front of the goal. There's a shot that goes off a stick and out of play as Arcabello was at a quiet night. Got a chance there. Face-off will stay in the zone.
He has had a fairly quiet night, but then having said that, he started the game with Shane Doan on the right side. And like I said, Doan not skating as well as he normally does. Turnover right there. Arcabello gets a chance. And Dennis Weidman gets a stick in the lane.
Shots 31-21 in favor of Calgary. Derek Englund off the boards and out. Ekman Larson goes back. Arcabello. Crombeen. McGinn chases the puck into the far corner as he's hit by Derek Englund. Got it to Crombeen behind the net. Bank pass to the line to Ekman Larson. Long shot, never got it through. That's blocked by Backlund, who clears. Ekman Larson goes to it. Backlund on his tail. Michael Stone gave it away to Joe Colborne. Raymond's out front, gets the pass. Nice pad save by Smith off Mason Raymond as Mike Smith fired out that left leg and made a good stop. Gagne out of his own zone. Played it in for Moss, and they're going to blow that down. Offside, Arizona, 5:25 to go. Third period, Flames up 3-2 on the 31st of the season for Sean Monahan.
Incredible second season by Sean Monahan. No sophomore jinx whatsoever. Take a look at the numbers. Last year's numbers are spectacular. 22 goals, 34 points. But this year already 31 goals, 61 points, 10 power play goals. What growth.
And just a great move on that last goal. Yep. Talk about a finish. I mean, there's not many goaltenders that stop that one.
Absolutely.
A superstar in the making. And Sam Bennett, who's up with the team now after his junior season came to an end. We talked about him many times down the middle. Wow. There's a giveaway. Hoodler in the corner trying to get it out front. Puck comes to the near boards. Moss, long pass. Bounces right to Erat, but he can't split the D. Weidman takes it away. And Gaudreau deflects that back to the Arizona zone. Inside 5 minutes to go in regulation. Flames with a 1-goal lead. Kings still trailing at Edmonton 2-1 early third period. Those two teams play here on Thursday, and what a game that will be. As Jonas Hiller snags that puck and hangs on. Time to check our game review. Brought to you by Intact Insurance Company, proud to partner with the Calgary Flames.
Johnny Gaudreau goal in the first period leads all rookies with 62 points. A great first period by the Flames, outshooting the Coyotes 18-7, outchancing them 13-2, and 2 third-period goals. No surprise by the Flames. Continue that great third-period play.
Winger win for the Coyotes. Reeder with a weak shot. That deflects high and wide. And the puck's tipped out to center ice by David Jones. Fired right back in. Brody. Englund. Ferland tips that in. And it might be icing. It is. 4:20 left.
Michael Ferland's been such a good story. Talked about Bob Hartley, talking about the help that he's given him on and off the ice, and just a wonderful young man and easy to cheer for. Real upside too, offensively too.
I agree. Got his first NHL goal in that last road trip in Nashville.
And assist tonight. And here's a guy that, you know, he's a big power forward, skates really well, certainly likes the physical play, but I think offensively down the road we're going to see a lot more from Michael Ferland.
So they had to reset the clock after that face-off was blowing down. Now it's won by the Coyotes. Ekman Larsson, hard pass into the corner to Stone, who's in deep. Flames take it away and clear. Might be icing again, and it is. All right, let's get an update from Edmonton once again in the studio. Here's Leah Hextall.
Kings and Oilers, we go to the third period, and the Oilers are now up a pair courtesy of Tyler Pitlick's second of the season. It's getting interesting at Rexall.
Thank you, Leah. Well, the Oilers might do the Flames a favor tonight.
Wouldn't that be something?
Calgary's not going to worry about that.
Maybe that 8-2 thumping by the Kings to the Oilers last week didn't do them any favors.
A little payback. Russell checks Moss, but stumbles. Puck cleared out. Ekman Larsson to it. Erat didn't get it deep. Weidman takes it away. Dennis Weidman out of his own zone. Mike Smith stops that. Long pass by Smith. Bounces into the Calgary end, right onto the stick of Russell, who clears. Played in offside. Coyotes have to tag up. That gives Russell plenty of time. Backlund tips it deep. Colborne on the forecheck. Smith out of the goal. Gives the puck to Jordan Schwartz. He gets the return pass and brings it out of his own zone. Into the skates of Cunningham. Chipchura. Puck comes to the line. Like it came out, it did. Stone wires it back in. Inside 3 minutes to go in this one. Gaudreau steals. Yuri Hoodler dumps it in and heads off on a change. Out comes Ekman Larsson. Hasn't left the ice much here in the third period. Long shot wide. Up the board, Stone pinching, can't keep it onside. Ferland clears. Reeder. Ekman Larsson. BJ Crombeen, who has a goal in this game, lifts it in. Reeder gives chase. Right in. Stopped by Hiller. Nice stop by Jonas Hiller. Toby Reeder on a long feed into the zone. Got a great scoring chance off the left wing. And the puck's cleared out. Big hit throw on Matt Stajan, though, as he's rocked by Ekman Larsson. Stajan back up. Looks like he's okay. 2 minutes left. Third period of play. Flames lead by 1. Erat can't take the pass. Murphy feeds it over to John Moore. Shot in off the stick of Stajan. Brody to it. Up the boards for Colborne. Murphy pinches. Bouncing puck. Jones couldn't knock it down. Played across to Gagne. Given away to Colborne. Chips it off the boards and out. John Moore back to it. Connor Murphy now. Fires it ahead to Martin Erat. Gagne, long shot wide. Smith goes to the bench. Empty net at the other end. Flames trying to clear it out. Can't get it there. Kept onside. Hiller makes a save. Rebound poke to the corner. Another nice stop. Through traffic by Jonas Hiller. Sam Gagne behind the goal. Marty Erat on the near boards. 6 skaters for Arizona. Erat out high. Pass down low. Gagne's pass up front blocked by Brody. Puck comes free. McGinn to Erat. Back to the line. Stone takes his time looking for a lane. Plays the puck to Erat. Final minute of play in the third. Michael Stone wires it deep. Moss checked by Brody. Moss gets the puck back for Moore. Fan Puck comes to the line. Gagne fed it to Erad. Back to Gagne with a shot. Off the back of Moss. Loose in the slot. Gagne, Erad, check. Gaudreau hauled down. No penalty on the play. Arizona with the puck again. More shot blocked out front. Woodler with an empty net. Works the puck out to center ice. Bouncing at the red line. Picked up by John Moore. 30 seconds to go. Back come the Coyotes. Gagne still out there. Lays it behind the net. Russell battling Chipchura. Crowd alive in Calgary. Now it's comes to Gaudreau with the empty net. Played it off the stick and down the ice. No icing on the play. 14 seconds left. Ekman Larsson back. Time running down. 10 seconds to go. Russell goes back to the puck in his own zone. Hit by Chipchura. Crowd on its feet. 5 seconds left. Weidman plays it around. Time ticks down. That'll do it. Calgary Flames knock off the Arizona Coyotes 3-2.
Best way to describe that, they held on, Rick. There's a real push by the Coyotes, but the Flames did everything they needed to do, protecting the front of the house, as they say. Not a lot of dangerous chances from in the slot in front of Hiller.
Jonas Hiller made a mistake on one of the goals. Couple of big saves in the dying stages.
Telus Flames Hockey. Brought to you by Telus, the future is friendly.
All right, Kelly, let's check our 3 stars tonight.
Sean Monahan, another brilliant game. First star, Matt Stajan, terrific defensive play in his own zone to keep the puck out of the net, and Dennis Weidman, 2 assists, our 3rd star tonight.
Big win for Calgary, 3-2 over Arizona. The Flames can clinch a playoff spot with a regulation win over the LA Kings on Thursday. Big game up the highway. Kings taking on the Oilers in Edmonton.